Are we starting the show on the right stream at the right time, one day before Michael Dean will come back? I think we are. I'm very proud of my mediocrity, but I did, in a weird way, painfully figure out how to do this on the last day. So, Tori, how you doing, girl? I like that dress.
Oh,
Very
thank
Sharon
you.
Stone of you. Very
Thank
Sharon
you.
Stone.
Very. It's Rent the Runway, so that's good.
Okay.
How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. I have a crazy story to tell you.
Well,
Hold
let's
on.
get into it.
Okay, you guys. So last night I went to go get just my roots done, and they were just brown, and I wanted them to be more blonde. You know how you do the roots, right?
Yes.
Okay. I love this person. She does usually a really great job. It starts at
That's
4:30, the
never a
appointment.
great precursor to tell. The guy that plows my driveway normally is not drunk at 5 a.m. This time, however, so yes, like what's going on? I'm almost scared to know.
Okay. So I get my hair done and it's like foil. She does it really fast. I get in and then she blows dries it and she turns me around and it's gray, like a silver fox, like full on, like
Like there
Angelica
should have been
Houston,
Dalmatians running around the.
like Anderson Cooper, like silver white hair. And I was like, um, uh like doesn't really look right. So I was like, this looks really gray, like really silver. And she's like, I don't see it. And I was like, well, I
Oh, she
do.
tried to gaslight you.
Yeah. And I'm like, I've done this before and I'm trying to be better about like standing up for myself. So I was like, hey, do you mind just retoning it? And toning is just like a toner chemical changes the warmth, the coolness. I was like, maybe we can make it more warm. So she's like, "All right, okay." So we go back. Now it's like 5:36,
How long have
and
you been there at this point?
I've been there for like 1 hour, okay?
Okay.
She tones my whole hair and she goes, "Oh, no."
She has no game face during this. That's terrifying.
So I go back to the chair and she goes, "It looks really dark. I think I put in the wrong toner." So she dries it. I have Angelica Houston jet black hair, okay? I have jet black hair, okay? I mean, it
You have
is
that kind of
dark.
jet black hair that only rich older men have because no one in their orbit has the balls to tell them you're 88 years old. You cannot have jet black hair. It can't be midnight black. Yes.
Totally. It's just black. And I was like, "Oh, no, no, no." All my highlights were removed that I've had for years, and it was just black. And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." And my face or Elvis. Yeah, it looked like Elvis, Amlo. That's right, what it looked like. Okay. And when you
Yeah.
have black against, like, kind of a pale Jewish, Ashkenazi, like, Russian, you know, Hungarian Jew, you
Yeah.
look really white. I mean, it
You
looked
look
like
like an
Wednesday.
emo teenager that's mad at her parents.
And
What's
I
the
was like,
point?
"Oh
We're
my
all
god."
going to die anyway, mom.
So now it's like 7:30, okay? And I was like, "No, no, 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 we can't." And she's like, "Okay, I think I have an idea." Julie asked,
An
"Was my
idea.
hairstylist chewing gummies?" I think she might have. So she goes in the back and there's something called Malibu C, which I don't know if you guys have ever heard of, but it's like a color remover. And so she attempts it's like a powder in case you've made like a bad mistake. And so
Wait, now tell me, what's the vibe? Is there no talking or is there a
no
nervous small
talking.
talking?
There's no
Okay.
talking, and I'm at this point, I'm like, I'm unhappy, okay? I'm like, I'm not thrilled with this. This is really damaging to the hair, and she does the whole thing, and she doesn't let me see it, okay? And she goes, okay, okay. It's definitely lifted the hair a couple colors." And I take my phone and I look up to see, yeah, I'm in the thing, and it's clown orange. Like pumpkin, like as bright as the sun. It was orange, like it was like it was, it was like traffic cone orange. And it's starting to look like very unhealthy. And she's like, "Okay, okay, okay." Now it's 8 o'clock. She goes, "We're gonna have to bleach it." And I was like, "Can you bleach it after you've done this whole like number to remove it. And she's like, we're going to try. So she starts bleaching my hair, and it gets predominantly more and more orange and like brighter orange. And I'm crying. Now I'm crying at this point. Okay. And there's like 2 other people. One's getting locks done and one is getting her hair like dyed. And they just keep looking over me. And
Was
I'm
there
sobbing. I'm
was
sobbing.
was there a TikTok put out that said Ronald McDonald's wife pissed at the beauty parlor?
It looked like Ronald. It was that bright. And even wet, it was like bright orange. You know what I mean? And I was like, I can't have orange hair. I cannot have orange hair. So she goes, okay, we're going to bleach it again. So now she bleaches it all again. Now I've been bleached 3 times in one day. And at this point, I'm on Google in front of her. And it's like, your hair will fall out. Your hair will
I was going to say, I know
fall out.
nothing
Yeah.
about hair color, but I know that you shouldn't run the United colors of Benetton in one sitting, where you just went through all of the phases of young adulthood.
So I had gone from
is she talking about a full refund at this point? What is her demeanor? We know how you are.
So
like, where is she right now?
She has made clear that she's made a mistake and that she's going to stay there as long as it takes to fix it. And I'm just bawling. First of all, I haven't drank any water or had any food. Now it's 9:15. And so she bleaches it for the 3rd time. Okay. 3 times. And you can tell it's just like getting drier and like brittle. And she starts like brushing it out. And there's like orange stripes throughout and then like white. And so she goes and tones it again. So now it's like 9:30, 10. And by the time she blows it out, this is what we ended up with, which I think is fine. But like it's real dry and like brittle. And like it's bleached to the max. And then this part became a little blue and purple. So I started screaming, it's turning blue. It's turning purple. And everyone's like staring at me. And this guy's getting his locks braided. And he's just like, oh my God. And so she gets it done. And I'm like, I'm leaving. Like I'm leaving. And I say, thank you so much for fixing it. She didn't.
Thank you.
And she didn't make me pay anything. And she was like, I've never made a mistake like this. I use something called like moss, which turns you like black. And then, so in the car, I'm stuffing my face with pizza because I had some.
Were you just starving?
I was so hungry and so like emotionally empty. You know what I mean? So I get in the car and I come back, and on camera, it's a little orangey here, but I think it looks okay. We got it to where it looks okay. And I don't want to touch it for a little bit. But I was just like emotionally so drained from that experience. And I was crying and my mascara was running and everyone just watched me walk out.
What? Well, I have so many questions. We have lots of stories, but I gotta get one.
So that was my story. That was my story.
Would it be fair to say that this person was inebriated?
I don't know if she was high or not. I don't think she was drunk, but I don't know if she was high. Now, it's hard to find a Denver hairstylist that isn't going to take a smoke break, and I'm not going to be against that. And she's done really well in the past, but she mixed in like a 6GN. And the woman behind her goes, isn't that like jet black? And I was like, oh no. Yeah. So it was so long. I got home around midnight, 11:30 midnight. And just, it does look a little brittle. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, look at the dryness.
Yeah. I mean, your hair went through the equivalent of working a double shift as a 911 operator, like just stressed to the max. Like it's so much. I have 2 women that I'm very close to in my life. Obviously, my girlfriend and our mutual friend, Coco.
Right.
And I shouldn't have said their names because I can't say it.
Wait, what?
I'll just that, like, after 5 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and that includes hairstylists.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. So I was shocked to find that out because I've had black men are very loyal to their barbers.
Yes.
So I've had, in my adult life, probably 10 or 15 barbers, depending on where I'm living. But maybe a couple were high, definitely.
Yeah.
but very few were drunk. And it seems like a lot of the women that I've talked to, um, it's kind of like expected that if you have a 5 o'clock p.m. or later appointment, that your hairstylist is going to be too deep at happy hour.
It was, like, right around that time, and, like, someone came in between me and got a haircut, and I was like, "Well, she looks great, so this is gonna be great. This'll be fine." And then it just went from silver to black to orange to auburn to white. It was so
Last question: are you going to give her a second chance, or was this an extinction level event?
it was an extinction level event, and I really wish her
I'm
well,
sure
and
she'd prefer that as
I
well.
think so too. And
At some
so,
point, it's just over.
yeah, and the adrenaline, like, came at the end when she's like, "I'm just so sorry, like, I'm woo, woo!" And I was like, "Oh god, cut it, cut it."
Oh
So,
my goodness.
yeah. So I'm going, on the 10th, I'm gonna get it, like, probably retoned and get a treatment done. But so W. Booker says, "My barber is drunk every week."
Yeah,
Dude,
I
maybe he
mean,
cuts better, like, drunk, like, maybe that's his thing, but, like, this was a nightmare, and I was, like, trying to keep it together, and the tears were just flowing and flowing. So, yeah,
oh,
that's my story from last night.
that that is a good one, Tori. Let's hit this for real quick after that
Yeah.
story. All right, girl, your hair looks good. Dress looks great. You survived it and came out with a great story. So
Thanks.
let's do this because I think this is the only one that really applies to the story I want to get to.
To be near you feels like heaven in the afternoon.
All right, Tori. I don't know if you know this, but our girl, Shorty from you remember the Coldplay Kiss Cam,
This was so viral. I mean, really huge.
so viral, and I wanted to give the colleagues a follow up on the story because I thought it was so interesting. Because it does make me wonder if we were all a little quick to destroy somebody's life. Not, and I'm not going to act like I wasn't into this, but
I was into
Kristin
it.
Cabot, yeah, everybody was. Come on, Kristin Cabot, the woman involved in the viral Coldplay Kiss Cam moment, is speaking out for the first time months after the incident. In several interviews, the former head of HR, not a great look, discussed the situation with her and her then boss, Andy Byron. She confirmed that her then estranged husband was at the same concert with a date. And I do remember both of us saying, everybody's got a situation, Doug. Everybody's got a situation. Why do you think this went so viral? And do you kind of blame the husband for not stepping up and being like, hey, no, we're separated? Because this could have happened with me and my ex-wife,
Yeah.
where we were separated almost as long as we were married.
Yeah.
And like I've told the story before, like when she first started talking about her now husband, I was like, oh, what's up, girl? So you better go on a date with that like we're friends. But if I was more famous and somebody had photographed her or photographed me, is it incumbent upon the other person to not leave your partner that you have an agreement with not out there bad floundering, and to just be like, no, hey, yo, I was on a date too, bro. Let this story go.
I think that would have really helped the momentum because what happened was this just snowballed. Like someone
Yeah.
made a meme and then someone made an advertisement and then someone was joking on SNL and then it got like so big and she got incredible death threats, incredible death threats. But she said that she had only kissed this guy, her boss, the CEO, as the HR person, which is a no-no, one time, and it was that night. And so she was really horrified that the camera found them there. And she was worried that her husband, who I guess was on another date, would see her. I don't
That
know.
that could be the way a rom-com starts, where there's like a
Yeah,
couple, they're about to split up. There's no spark, and you look up and your wife is getting tongued down on the kiss cam, and you're like, that's my woman, bruh. And
totally.
then and then you go from there.
Totally. But I do think it was I do agree with Christina here, who says it was their overreaction to being on the screen that made it go so viral. It was like, if they had just stayed there for 2 seconds and not moved, there would not have been, but they ducked, they moved, they tried to turn, and that cam stayed right on them. And out of everybody in the studio, the whole audience, to find those two was just like such a moment.
Yes.
But it really did cost her a lot. And she said she's trying to teach her children that like everybody makes mistakes and that they don't have to be threatened to the death because of it, because she got doxxed, Al, and she got real credible death threats. So I do feel bad. Julie says, I kind of feel sad for her. It cost her career and her respect. She said, I gave up my entire career for this moment.
Yes, but how was the concert? Yeah, I mean, it really sucks because all the things you named early on, it became a commercial, became a meme. What happens is all these things instantly become bigger than the people involved because we don't know these people to care enough. We don't know their names. So nobody can say, I was really mad at this woman. You don't know who she is.
Yeah,
you have no background with this woman. And I think the reason, I think was Christina was saying they should have just chilled out. I totally agree in hindsight. I would say this, just going on the human factor of it, I think that, she said this is their first night of their first kiss. So they're just getting comfortable.
Right.
Being out in public, him having his arms around her, knowing your former partner that you have children with is at the same concert. I mean, it was just a lot of things. So I'm sure she was already uncomfortable. And then to be, somebody had told her, hey, before you hop in the car, the trajectory of your life is about to change if you go to this concert. And you'd be like, I think you're overreacting a little bit. And here we are. Yeah. But Tori, let's not talk, let's not say that people's lives have not been changed because of some decisions they've made. I know that I have a girlfriend, but maybe I'm two-timing her because I want to show you my other new girlfriend.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there she is. Do you remember that face, Tori?
No. Who is that?
Maybe because she's looking at you face on. That is Shireen Afkari. Let me jog your memory, and maybe this will. Please tell me I uploaded it. She's the woman that got tripped. Damn it, I can't find it.
Oh, she got the one who was like drunk.
Yes.
At the restaurant.
Yes, she was shit-faced at the restaurant and caused a 3-minute. If you watch the entire video, like I did a few times, she was in 3 separate incidences. And eventually, Tor, it led to this. Why don't you read it for the people?
We are aware of an employee who exhibited extremely concerning off-hours behavior. We don't condone violence of any kind, and this does not reflect the standards we expect of our team. This past Monday, we made the decision to end the individual's employment.
Didn't even drop her name. That's even worse. If I think about if this, God forbid, this podcast broke up and I got interviewed because we were really big and they were like, so what's next for the podcast? And I'd be like, I will not be speaking with that individual. Check out the Al Jackson show. Like, just not name them is just so there's a coldness to that, but also, I was going to ask you, do you think it's fair for you to basically be on the clock 24/7 with your behavior? Are we at a point now where we are okay saying, and think about this for our lives as well, that anything you do is subject to get you fired from what you do from your 9 to 5, even if the alleged offense technically has nothing to do with your 9 to 5? Is that the kind of world that you want to live in? I'm genuinely curious.
I think that unfortunately a lot of places, and we've gone over this at DBL, have something called a moral clause in their contract that says like you can't go out and do something that's immoral and will have a bad reputation to our company itself. So unfortunately, when this got videoed and it got viral, it's going to come back on the company. And so they have every right to let her go. I'm sort of glad they didn't name her because it could have turned into the Coldplay situation where she gets doxxed. And
you mean not name Shireen Afkari? We won't do that either. We have class. Right, Shireen?
Hey, Shireen, what's up with you? Yes. Yeah. But I think that, that's why some people get remember, like teachers would get fired for wearing bikinis, and there was like some real
Right.
question on like
Halloween costumes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like legality on their Facebook or social media. And you're like, what is this? But she did physically assault someone, and it's gonna that goes against a moral clause for them, and I just don't think they want the blowback. So they have every right to do that. She can sue for wrongful termination. She's not gonna win. And
Right.
sadly, this blew up, and so it just was
That'll be another fight she lost.
yeah.
I will say this, Tori. Maybe we can tie this to the story we just covered.
Yeah.
And maybe Strava, because here's my thing. I'm looking and I don't know what Strava does, but you know what? People learned a little bit more about astronomer
So much more, right?
based on, so maybe Strava missed a boat and they could have steered into this in a humorous way, put out a commercial with her hitting the ground and it says, "You'll fall flat on your face when you see these prices." And I think you got to lean into it. Like, look how many likes that post got. I guarantee you, Strava, whatever the hell they are,
So
I'm gonna look that up, has never
Sylvia-
gotten that many posts.
Sylvia says Strava is used to track her runs and her bike rides. So I think it's like a
Ooh.
tracking. Wouldn't it be funny if they show the trip? They showed the trip in slow motion. They're like, "You'll trip over our prices."
They show her blood pressure and her BPM. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like our app works, damn it. All right.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
good luck to Shireen. I'm not gonna. I do not want to be a hypocrite because your boy Al Jackson has been drunk in public before.
Yeah, me
So,
too. Me too. Me too.
Those without sin,
Yeah.
cast the first stone. All right, Tori, let's get to this. We had some fun, but now, of course, because we live in America. Tori, we're talking about politicians and politicians that are probably doing something. What? Doing something a little essy. Tori, let me ask you this. Did you get a chance to watch Trump's remarks last night? He spoke for about 20 minutes in almost like an impromptu State of the Union.
It was a lot of rambling is what I saw. A lot of
Okay.
sort of,
I have some of it here. It's
Okay.
2.5 minutes. I am not going to show all of that.
okay.
We're not doing that, but I'll let it go as long as I can, and we'll kind of comment, and then we'll leave this annoying man alone. All right, let's do this.
1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin.
Being
Well, we
muted?
can, there you
All
go.
right, there we go. So, Tori, did you watch this live? And if you just saw clips, what did you think about the clips?
I saw clips, and the hottest country in the world.
I was like, is he talking about a country or a record label?
We are hot.
Everybody's saying we got the hottest stuff on the streets. We fire. This is our summer. We in the trunk, baby.
It's America's summer. You know what I mean? Hansel, so hot right now. Hansel. So I think his whole take on like our country doing well, our affordability being like really good and easy, the tax refunds. I think even MAGA people are being like, dude, like you just are going, this is insane. I wanted to add that he also tried to make the Kennedy Center, which is the place I went to every couple months as a child. We had season tickets, and it was the biggest deal in DC, named after, of course, not only
The
John
Kennedy
Kennedy.
Center was an institute for annoying children.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was stunning cultural phenomenon in DC. And we saw such beautiful theater there named after Jackie and John F. Kennedy, who really put an emphasis on the arts that some other presidents hadn't. The cultural arts, she was a book publisher, were very important to them. And museums were important to them. And upkeeping and having a center for the performing arts was important to them. And that's his famous bronze sculpture is in there. So he has said that he wants it to now, and let's find out if Al has not known. Do you know what the name he wants to change it to?
I'm going to say MAGA Arena.
So
Something
hot right now.
awful.
So hot. It's called the Trump Kennedy Center. And I just want people to know legally, this is a federal building, and you can't just declare something with a wand that it is. Congress has to change this. So you can't just say the Lincoln Memorial is the Al Jackson Memorial right now. That's essentially what they did. So
That's racist.
I know. So we're waiting to hear if Congress is going to do this. But Maria Shriver, who is of the Kennedy clan, has written a wonderful piece on this on Instagram about how horrific this is. And it's just so you know, Hamilton, the cast of Hamilton refused to play. They were supposed to be there this year. They've refused. Issa Rae was supposed to perform this year at the Kennedy Center. She has refused. A lot of board members have been fired. The Kennedy Center honors weren't even like televised. So it's not a positive look. And it's something that makes me sick to my stomach, knowing that institution is being tarnished with, he just wants to name so many things after himself. It's such a desperate authoritarian feeling, you know, like everything is Putin this, Putin that. It's just like that. It's just like that. So,
well, you said something very interesting. You were like, well, Congress has to be involved to rename anything. And something else Congress needs to be involved in. I don't think we got to it on that clip. I didn't make it that far, but I'm sure all of our colleagues that are news nerds like we are saw that he also vowed to send out checks to our military in the amount of $1,776. It's like, first of all, enough with the American rebel. It's like, we get it, bro. But Congress also has to vote on that because those are federal dollars going out. You just can't send money in the mail like Ed McMahon and say that it's going to get there. And he said that they're already on the way. And I was like, I don't think that's true.
No, it's like drawing.
That's true.
It's like the Sharpie with the hurricane. It's coming up here now. Yeah.
Yes. And it's it's so interesting because the good thing about doing the show every day or damn near every day is we can watch the narrative change right in front of our eyes because he's touting now and we're acting like he said this the whole time, that we have this great economy and that affordability is coming back. But 2 weeks ago, it was a Democratic hoax.
Yeah, right.
He even tried to float, you know how he tries to float terms. He tried to float the affordability hoax, and he was like, no one even uses that word. And his cabinet was like, people do. He's like, who uses the word? Do you remember like a couple months ago? It didn't get that much press, but when he was like, grocery, that's like a word I haven't heard in a long time. Like, it's like, oh, dude, it's like, I say that maybe every other day of my life.
Who doesn't say gross? Like, how out of touch are you? I do also have to say that the Vanity Fair pictures that have come out, I've been going over them with a fine-tooth comb with an art history background, and they are just fascinating with some of the things behind them, like Karoline Leavitt's lips. First of all, that's what she uses as a mouthpiece. She's known as a mouthpiece. And they got like really up close. This is Stephen Miller, and he looks very similar to a Joseph Goebbels, who is the architect of the Holocaust, black and white, head tilted, a very famous picture of Goebbels. So people are comparing it to them. Karoline Leavitt's mouthpiece had dots all over for the injection.
What about that?
It is. So this is Susie Wiles. She is the chief of staff, looking somewhat frightened. And if you saw her whole picture, a lot of the women had big chairs in front of them, Al, in the photographs with emptiness in front. And it was like you could see that they were like backing some, like the phantom in the chair is how they're running it. But she gave crazy information, calling Trump an alcoholic personality. He can say he does nothing wrong, calling JD Vance a conspiracy theorist. She's now trying to say this was all off the record, and Vanity Fair has it all on tape. And so it's a fascinating look. I'd look at you to see I'd look through this and see what did they mean psychologically, because it's fascinating as an art history major.
There's something about those eyes that say, "Oh, you're not going home."
Yeah, right.
But just like never raising her voice, just like, "Oh, you think you're leaving this house?" No,
right.
no,
Like
no.
wild eyes, just wild eyes. And again, this posture of I look like a centaur, like half my body's a horse, from Marco Rubio.
Right.
The leaning down, the sort of dejection of it. And none of them look very good. Then there was a close up of him in black and white with all these sunspots. This is the lip injection for Karoline Leavitt. And I think it was smart to zoom in on her mouth, because again, that's what she uses it for, to just spin. So, and they were not touched up. And he said, why would I touch up? This is a journalist. I'm doing journalist photography. So, I just thought really interesting. There's Al.
Can't. I mean, we are living in such a strange time, Tori. When I saw those pictures, and I believe the photographer responded, and I mean, you hit it right on the head. He was like, I'm a journalist and I'm trying to show what this cabinet is like and the vibe that they give off. And I think that they can't, with their policies, they're rounding up and dragging pregnant women through the streets by masked men. Like, you can't, what are you going to be, like at a state fair? Putting a ribbon on a hog
and like beautiful. Yeah, it was right on about who they are. Excuse me. Harsh photographs about what the harshness is in that West Wing. No one looks particularly happy, and no one looks particularly good or even like normal. So I thought it was interesting that they chose to go that. And Vanity Fair, just like, well done. As a photojournalist making an essay about who these people are, it definitely showed a lot of psychological background on them. So,
all right, well, Tori, let's try and bathe ourselves of those photos with some positive vibes. Tori, you are back on top. The queen is here. And she's been kind of flexing on people that thought that you lost your mojo, lost your fastball, by not only predicting the winner, not only predicting the spread, but dang near predicting the final effing score. That's a lot of pressure to put on you, baby girl. But I wouldn't do it if I didn't, to whom much is given.
That's right.
So, Tori, this is sadly our last official Thursday night football game. There is one next Thursday, but that's like Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. So it's kind of like not a weekday Thursday. This is like the last Thursday fun football game. Tori, we have the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, making the trip up the 5. That would be up the 5 or the 4 or 5. I don't know. Up the 5 or the 4 or 5, all the way up to Seattle to play the Seahawks, where they have Sam Darnold and a heck of a defensive line waiting on Matthew Stafford and those Los Angeles Rams. Tori, last I checked, it said that Seattle is favored by 1.5 points at home, but that just means Vegas thinks it's going to be a close game. So, Tori, what do you think? Do you think the Rams are going to cover the spread and win? Or do you think that Sam Darnold, who has totally, resurrected his career from the ashes, is going to take this and, take it on back to the Pacific Northwest and kick it with those boys?
I foresee this is so bad already when you want to give it up in the middle.
It's like you're hosting the last episode of a public access children's show. I foresee we have been canceled, but I want all you kids to be able to spell that one more time.
What does it start with?
Yeah, you just burst into tears. Yes, well done, kids.
I foresee a Seahawk win. I think the Seattle is going to take it. Again, this is based on nothing but vibes. I know nothing about the Rams or the Seahawks, but I really see the Seattle Seahawks taking this one in. I think it is going to be close. I think it's not going to be too high scoring. So maybe like I'm seeing 17-13. That might be a little low.
No, that might be good because they're expecting heavy winds like we had here in Denver last night. Well, this morning, not to get too off of Vibey Sports, the wind was blowing so bad it tripped the fire alarm.
Whoa.
And at 5 o'clock this morning, now I was already up getting ready for Bob and Tom, but the fire alarm was going off. And it was everybody got a little early start this morning.
That's right. Yes. That's right. Everybody at one point, can I be honest with you guys? I was in therapy and I was sitting down afterwards, just like going through my notes about what I was doing. And this door to the building just kept opening and like slamming shut and opening. It was like stormy out. And I was like, this is like such a bad ending to therapy. But it was at 96-mile-per-hour winds, you guys. I did ask what a Seahawk was. We found out it was an osprey, which I think are beautiful birds. Beautiful birds.
Birds are low-key mean, though.
Some birds.
I think a lot of swans are mean as S.
Swans are very mean. Swans
Geese
are not
will
nice.
chase you for no reason. I'm like, hey, I'm standing over here on the pond. I don't say anything that you shit up the whole lawn. Can I just stand here? Geese are mean.
That's
a lot of birds are mean. I just think they're not big enough to attack us. But if birds were like 6 feet tall, I don't think anybody would ever go outside.
No, and you know that dinosaurs came from birds. No, birds. Yeah, birds came from dinosaurs.
This is that canceled Kids Access show that's just like fired for inaccurate. Do you know you can eat rocks? Your parents will tell you can't. Don't be a
can.
Okay?
Christina says I have some serious ornithophobia, which is birds are scary. And my favorite here is M. Loro. Geese are mean as shit.
They are mean. Swans too, and they're beautiful, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at that swan!" Swan will come, and it's like, dude, they don't understand like size disparity, but they don't care. Swans are like, I don't want to get close to those things. Ostriches are terrifying. Ostriches, terrifying. All right, Tori. So, what was your prediction?
It was 17-13 Seahawks.
All right, you guys heard it here, Tori. But we are going to kind of stay on the sports theme, and let's talk about this right here. All right, Tori, we all know that there has been some backlash with who they decided to be the halftime act. Why don't you tell everybody who is scheduled to be the halftime act this year for the Super Bowl?
Bad Bunny.
That's right. Bad Bunny with billions of streams. Actually passed Taylor Swift this year on Spotify with streams. He will be doing the Super Bowl. Obviously, there was a big MAGA backlash. So people are wondering if it was not by mistake that this man has been tapped to be the halftime act for the Christmas Day game on Netflix. Tori, let's talk. Snoop Dogg. At least you got to take my word for it because you'll only see half his head. Unless you're on the vertical, then you get the full Snoop. That's him, I believe, at the Super Bowl wearing his Los Angeles Rams colors. Obviously, he is from Compton, or not. He's not from Compton. He's from somewhere on the east side. Dang it, it'll come to me. All right, Tori. Well, I had a little question about this because normally I'd be like, oh, Snoop Dogg's performing.
Right.
But let's not forget that Snoop is still kind of trying to weather the public backlash.
Yep. Thank you for saying
him performing at Trump's inauguration.
That's right.
Do you think that, and I kind of said this to Lil Baby Sarsar when we were watching the Sunday night football game, and Snoop he raps to start the game, and his raps are horrible. Terrible.
Wow.
Horrible. And I grew up with Snoop. I'm not trying to be like blasphemous. He's not a good rapper anymore. It's not the move anymore. I was one, and I said this out loud to Sar. Do you think that this is, as we do see the networks capitulating to the administration, them kind of putting on halftime acts like, are you happy now? Just in case we need to do a little merger later. And there are football games on CBS, the Sunday nights on Peacock. But I just wonder whether he wants to be or not. Is Snoop the hip hop representative for MAGA, or is it Nicki Minaj? Or neither?
So I first off think you're absolutely right that there's still a lot of backlash. Like I'm seeing people in the chat being like, by the way, it was Long Beach that he's from, is what I'm getting.
Long Beach, yes, the LBC.
LBC. But he has repeatedly gotten pushed down again and again for accepting money to play at the inauguration. I don't get that. I never will get that. I don't understand it. He's seemingly trying as much as he can. He's also now in the Olympics. He's the first honorary coach, and they're having him as like a representative of the United States representing the US team. I know he's been on before, but he's really trying to get that reputation back. But like Go Fish 444 just says Snoop is a sellout, end of story. That's what happens when you go and you do something
crazy. I mean, yeah, and I mean,
like, I don't disagree.
A lot of people feel that way, and I still feel some type of way about Snoop, and I don't want to, because I can't tell the story of my life without hip hop, and I can't talk about my growing up with hip hop without talking about Snoop. Like when you're a damn near 50-year-old man or a 50-year-old person that's followed hip hop your whole life, Snoop, I remember like watching his first video, and it's just I think and Tori, you're saying that you don't understand why there was such a backlash, and I think that's
I understand.
You do?
100%. Like I would love Snoop. I loved his Martha Stewart thing. I loved everything.
Me
and
too.
Then when he did the inauguration, I was so confused, and I thought very similar to Go Fish. I thought, my God, what a sellout to do this when you have so many people looking up to you as someone that could represent a platform that could speak out against this. I thought, and wasn't there someone else who performed at the inauguration that's still trying to get over it?
Nelly.
Yeah, Nelly. I was like, wow, I'm so disappointed.
But Nelly was a lot more aggro and outspoken about him because he was on, like, I don't know if it was TikTok Live or YouTube Live or something, but his fans were coming at him. And he was like, oh, so if the president calls you and says, I want you to perform, you're not going to do it. I'm not performing for Trump. I'm performing for the office. But he was very defensive and strident in his feelings. And I think that's what really stuck out to me with the difference in the two reactions, because Go Fish, I'll tell you, like when Snoop was on his Instagram Live after, he was still like, he wasn't, hat in hand, head down, but his face looked sad because I think he knew he
stepped in
real
it
bad.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he just thought, I can get this check real quick.
That's
and
terrible.
Keep it moving.
That's terrible. I think that's terrible. And I think that really, you got to stand up for your morals, your ethics. And like, just like Julia, no, who said it? Lucy, if it's this president, I'm absolutely not doing it. I understand wanting to perform for the White House. That's an honor. But for what I call the aberration president, like you don't do it. You just don't do it for a simple reason that like, allegedly Donald Trump's dad was in the KKK and he had legal issues with selling to people of color for so long. The Central Park 5 situation, I mean, he has been clearly racist in such a way that to go and perform for him in that minstrel way that I don't appreciate, to get money out of it, just feels so not Snoop. It just felt like just sick. So I just
Snoop always just seemed like he was one of us, like a voice of the people.
Yeah, totally.
And it wasn't really even broken up along racial lines. I will say this, when Snoop Dogg's when his songs come on, and I've been all over the country, big fancy big city nightclubs where it's $75 to get in, and local small town bar, when Dre Day or Nothing But a G comes on, everybody, those songs came out damn near 30 years ago.
I know.
They still hit. They still did the Super Bowl because everybody loves those songs. So to kind of have that happen to Snoop, it was kind of I'm not gonna say it was sad for him, but I always wonder in my head, did he not know? And
Yeah.
is he at the point where he didn't have one friend that would be
I was
like,
gonna
hey
say,
man,
no one on his team was like, hey, I would question this. I put a question mark on this.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a
So,
difference between having a team and an entourage. Like
yeah.
if I got super famous, you would always be in my life going, those pants are too tight, you look crazy. Like you wouldn't care. Like take that shirt off, it's wrinkled, I want to fight you. Like
Totally. Right.
but like remember on DBL when we would interview celebrities and they have on like a crazy orange hat, and you'd be like, oh, you don't have one real friend left.
Yeah, this is it.
You don't have one friend from Pittsburgh left. You've been in London for many years now, and you have lost touch with the people. So
Orange hat.
I will say this: do you know who hasn't lost touch with the people, Tori?
Who?
You, because it's time for this. I have not made a vocabulary.
Will you put us back as big again?
I will definitely do that. Do you think I'm not trying to? Just Snoop's torso. All right, Tori, are you ready for your weekly quiz? You did great for your first quiz. And I want to see if we can keep it going. Because, Tori, if you're nothing else, you're in these streets.
Am I?
I think the number one signifier that you're in the streets is when you question. You're like, what, like right now? Or
I'm from DC. I'm from the streets.
That's right. You got this, Tori.
Yeah.
So, Tori, let's start with an easy one. Tori, what are ducats?
They are buckets that look like ducks. I don't know.
When would you ever need those?
For play, for fun. A ducat. I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Money. Yeah, it's an old school. When I heard the word ducats, that was kind of like going back through my hip hop history. That's probably like the mid '90s when clocking a lot of ducats. It's like it's just another way to say you got a lot of money, like cheese.
Cheese, okay. You got a lot of ducats.
That's right.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder what the origin of that word and where that came from and how it became like slang.
You don't think it came from like buckets of money to dollars and buckets?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
All right. Next question. More of a phrase. Tori, if I said that something was a low-key bop, what am I saying?
You're saying, Al, that song is actually really good.
That's my girl. She's in these streets.
I'm in the streets.
Yes.
I'm in the streets.
Yes, that's right.
What about it's a low-key banger? Oh, never mind.
Same.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, you could definitely say
that. Okay.
Yes, because I think a low-key banger is it's a song by an artist that you maybe don't have any feelings for, good or bad. And I remember when I was asking my friends, because I knew nothing about Taylor Swift's catalog, and a lot of my homeboys on the thread were like, oh, this one, I don't really know all their songs, but this was a low-key banger. So like, everybody's got a low-key banger. Put your low-key bangers in the chat. Tori, I'm trying to think about
I think I know yours. Like, for instance, Al thinks that Toxic by Britney is a low-key banger.
Yes, even though that was a very popular song,
right.
I don't think that a lot of 50-year-old black men, people really associate us to be part of Britney's fan base. But that was like a song that I have listened to over and over again. Definitely a low-key banger for me. And I would play it every time I DJ and everybody dance to that.
Slipping under.
It's a sexy ass song. I love it.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Tori, do me a favor. This is an easy one. Why don't you tell the people when you would use the slang word mash or mashing? Mash in. No G. Mashing.
Okay, so I know smashing.
Okay.
Smashing, and I know smushing is
making s'mores. Yes.
Making s'mores. Oh my God. Lee says it comes from the word ducat or ducat, referring to gold coins in Europe. Brilliant. Thank you.
That makes sense.
That's really good. That
makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense. I'm so thankful you said that. Christina says Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, low-key banger. I totally agree with that.
Yes.
I totally like some Benson Boone songs are kind of like a low-key banger. I don't know.
I could see that.
Okay. Olivia Pink Pony Club. Olivia Dean has some low-key bangers. Okay,
Can I just say this again,
Yeah.
since we're talking about fan bases that don't kind of match what you picture? I heard Pink Pony Club and I was like, oh, I like that song. And the second time that I heard it, I was like, I really like this song.
It's
I
really
love it.
good.
It's such a great song.
Na-na-na.
And
I
just the
remember.
way it amps, it's just like it's such a great. If I wasn't old, I could imagine myself drunk singing that at like 3 p.m. at a bar, just day
King-
drinking. It's just like it just sounds like such it's like such a great anthem song.
Totally.
All right. So Tori, we got
Mashing.
2 more, mash, and then we got 1 more. So what is
Okay, so I think
mashing.
I think it's something like when two people like mesh. Well, they're mashing. I guess that's
I'm
called
gonna
mashing.
give you a C+, and that is a passing grade. Mashing just means that you like somebody.
Oh, like you have a crush on them.
Yeah, just like you see Al over there helping Tori with the books. He's totally mashing on her.
Okay. Now, can mashing be? Someone wrote like stalking. Can it be like a little too much mashing?
I think there can be a negative connotation.
Okay.
It's so interesting how many words have like a couple different uses, and I think mashing is one of those where it can be a little bit too much of a love affair. And
could I say this? Like, oh my God, Al is mashing potatoes with Tori. Like, you don't put.
No, you don't. That would just be an actual cooking lesson that we were doing. That would be just the literal act of mashing. Tori, last one.
Here we go.
All right, we got this. Follow what I'm saying because I want you to translate.
Okay.
Still mid, even post glow up.
Okay, what you're saying is, still not great even after they really got better looking.
That's it. Yeah, Tori is in these streets for a reason, y'all. I be trying to tell everybody.
From the streets.
Don't. Those are like the last words that are heard by the FBI on your wiretap before it goes dead. I told you, all you cocaine dealers in this room, I'm from the streets. Fist pumping. And
I love drugs.
Yeah. Now,
like,
where
what a
are
narc.
all the drugs?
What
Talking to my collar.
Do you think Tori. Do you think that, just really quick, do you know for sure glow up? Is that, do you have to have like an obvious glow up?
Well, I think it's obvious enough where it catches your eye. Like, even if it's not, because when people would have glow ups even before the term came out, colleagues,
Yeah.
It was the summers of middle school. When you would come back and you'd be like, Tori had a little glow up. Like, you leave and like somebody's got braces and they come back, you're like, oh yeah, I think you need to get a large in that shirt now. Yeah, I mean, just like, every people kind of mature and you're just like, oh, you're not like this cute little pudgy faced kid.
No.
You kind of you can have a little glow up, get those braces off, go to a better barber, get a fade.
That's what I had. The Elizabeth Warren asymmetrical with my sports goggles and my 2 retainers. And then I came back at 15 with contacts, no retainers, hair long. My body had come out a little bit and everyone's like,
yeah.
And I was treated really differently. And I remember being like, what is going on? And they call that pretty privilege when it's not, it's a real thing that people get. I'm not saying I was pretty. I'm just saying like I was not horrific looking.
Pretty privilege is absolutely a thing. I'm glad that there's a term that's been coined for it. Yeah. I've always said I always wonder what like people that are like literal 9s or 10s, however they identify, like just like what do they think about the world? Because I'm sure that they think that all of us are just too harsh. Like, guys, it's not that bad. Like, people are nice all the time still. They hold the door.
I get what
your
I want.
Mailman sorts all your junk mail out, right? The waiter tips you. That happens, right? Yeah, I mean, I just think like when you're smoking hot, you just don't understand things.
No,
you're just like,
yeah, you don't get it.
You don't have to wait in the line at the club. You just go to the front
and
tell the guy
you
that you want to come in.
Yeah, like it's not that hard. Like the Kendall Jenners, the Hadids, like they have a different. I love your friend's joke. Like I never see a 10 out in public.
Jim Jeffries, yeah. He's like, where are all the 10s?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really interesting thing, and what you were talking about earlier with you getting your braces off, it just made me think. I'm sure a lot of the colleagues remember that was the premise of almost every teenager tweener movie between like 1987 and 1993 was just, she was a dorky girl. There was
With glasses.
with glasses, braces, holding her books to her chest in a way that's like, you don't have to carry your books like that, but they had to really send home the message that she was uncomfortable in her own skin, people bumping her in the hallway.
Yes,
and then
always the bump. Oh.
always, but get out of the way, dork. And like, geez. and
Come
then
on,
like,
come on.
that summer, like, her big sister goes, you can get the guy. Let's get you together. And she takes the glasses off.
Glasses off.
The girl acts like she can't see. And then she's like, put some contacts in, get those braces off. And then they turn her around. And I'll tell you, I had a real life situation like that was actually kind of beautiful and less funny. But when I did the show MTV Made, if you guys don't remember, it was a show that came on MTV for about 7 seasons. It was an hour-long show. And what the thing was they would pair like a coach with a teenager high schooler that wanted to do something. So if Tori wanted to make the cheerleading squad, they would match you up with a famous cheerleader, and she would get you to where you want to go. I did MTV Made. I was a coach, and there was a kid that wanted to learn how to do stand-up and meet girls. And he was kind of a dorky kid. He's self-admittedly a dorky kid from Southern Indiana. And I remember for our makeover, we went to that store Buckle in the mall. Do you remember Buckle? It was kind of like
Express.
Yeah, like Express Men. Yeah,
like
but like
structure. Remember structure?
Yeah, like I'm trying to be a pretty boy a little bit, And Tori, we got his haircut, and we got some jeans on him.
Nice.
And a shirt and a belt and some shoes. And I will never forget, and this is a man that has a terrible memory, when we spun him around in that chair, his face, Tori. It was like I almost started crying because it was the first time that he had ever like seen himself as like an acceptable male in society, much less in his school. And it was just like, his face was so like very almost primal.
Yeah.
Because there was no like acting like this looks fantastic. He just like was taken back because his hair had a little gel in it and stuff. And he had never and it was like really kind of a beautiful moment. And yeah,
That's really sweet.
He got the balls. He asked this girl to prom. And I told you what he said to her when he got to the front door.
What did he say?
Because, he also had, it was called Asperger's at the time. He was on the spectrum. And so he would just use words that I think he thought were like big words that were complimentary. And this is really the last time I ever saw him. Our last shoot was going to be on our front porch. And he's supposed to knock on the door. And she was going to open the door. And she was dressed for homecoming. And he knocks on the door. She opens. And he goes, "Good evening. You look relatively nice tonight."
Bless him.
And her dad was like,
Bless
all right.
him.
It was just like, it was such an, I think he thought he was saying like
Exceptional.
Exceptionally or some kind of
right.
Like a really beautiful thing. That kid had big balls. Shout out to Jordan and those boys over at MTV. All right, Tori, we didn't even get to the last story that I had. It was just about the shootings, but I don't want to talk about that on Friday, Junior. I'm sure, given our country, Tori, that there will be plenty of shootings this weekend.
I think so.
I hope I'm wrong. I'm just tired of it. I wish we would do something about it.
Yeah.
But, I can't do anything about the shootings, Tori, but I can do this to make all the pain go away and make us have a good time. Damn it, Al. Can you time it a little bit better, you dork? All right, let's do this. Tori.
Okay.
It's about that time.
Okay.
Tori, talk to me.
Okay.
We need a good fact to send us into the weekend. So what do you have for us, girl?
Did you know that Nintendo, the company, was started when Jack the Ripper was still active?
No.
Isn't that good?
In the 1800s?
Yes. So Nintendo started as a playing card game, and they had playing cards out in 89. Yes. And it is the same era as the famous serial killer, Jack the Ripper. And then it transformed into what it is. But isn't that a crazy fact? And it stayed in the same family for like generations. So Nintendo was started when Jack the Ripper was still active. That's a good like party line, like trick, isn't it? No, maybe not. Maybe.
No, I mean, that's kind of cool. I wonder if there is somebody, there's collectors everywhere that has the first set of like Nintendo cards. Do you know how much those would be worth? I'm
Oh
sure
my
they're sitting in a storage unit somewhere and they're going to find them on that
Huge.
Goofy show.
Antiques Roadshow?
No, the one where they break into storage, they buy the storage unit. What's it called?
Oh,
Storage
yeah.
Wars? Do they still have that?
Storage, yeah, and when I work out, that's the only thing that'll play.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be staged because they never find anything terrifying. Like they just come, they're like, this is just teenage girls' shirts. You're like, oh no.
And
like what happened? Like, oh no.
Flashlights.
Yeah.
There?
Just a lot of shoes. You're like, oh no.
You're like, this isn't good. Gigi, you're absolutely right. They've only had like 7 CEOs and they've all been within the family and they've kept it very protective of that. So Nintendo's a really interesting company to study if you ever wanted to study that. But yeah, that was someone said, I love good trivia. Lee, thank you. And Jack says a human head. Yeah, like what if they found bones and shit?
There's no way that they don't find those in storage units. I mean, yes, people are storing old pool tables in there. They're also storing guns and evidence that they don't want in their house. I'm sure people have walked in some and they're like, oh, there's a ton of coke in here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I just listened to a 48 Hours where he had hid the body in a storage unit for many, many, many moons.
Well, Tori, I do want to ask you this because you are in these streets.
I'm on these streets.
You're in these streets. There is a documentary that the same guy that made Cocaine Cowboys.
Oh, nice.
He made another documentary. It wasn't as popular, but it's called Square Grouper. And Square Grouper was the term that South Floridians had for the kilos of cocaine that will wash up on the beach because
they're square.
But like if you were being chased by the cops and you needed to not get pulled over with that in your vehicle, there was so much coke, you just get rid of your load and be like, yeah, even if you pull me over, you can't get me with anything. So it would just wash up on the beach. So Tori, what would you do if you're just opening a storage unit and there's some books and then you just find something and it's just 5 kilos of an unknown substance? What do you really do? I don't know if I would be able to. It would just be me and Tori like having to like sadly ask, do you know anybody that could buy this in bulk? Yeah, just like we'd be arrested before we like got our seltzer waters at the bar.
Yeah, do you know anyone who likes to party?
It would be so bad. But then you'd be like, when you hand it over to the cops, you like, what do you think they're putting that in store? What are they going to find the owner? They're going to sell it too.
Yeah, but what if it's like, that's what it worries me is like, what if it's, first of all, super old and something bad, or coke mixed with like fentanyl or some, like you can implicate yourself in a lot of ways if that, you don't know anything about that coke. But if it's
that's
like,
true.
If it's
you can also implicate yourself in $800,000.
Yeah.
And I think that's a road that like you and I could never go down because we would just be like, we'd like get rid of it and be like, oh my God, we did it. And then the kingpin would be like, you'll have the same amount next week. And it would be like, yeah, no. And he's like, you said it. Like, oh, okay.
Now we're doing this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I was thinking, what if it did say pure coke on it? But like what package would say pure coke?
That was one of the things with the guys that did sell and distribute that is they didn't want to market for the authorities. That's part of, I think, the whole, I've never sold it, but I don't think you want to like, it's the way that you don't want to spray paint drunk driver with an arrow pointing up to the window where you're driving. You kind of want to keep that on the low. So I don't know if it'll say pure coke. And then what are you going to trust that? Swear to God, yo.
No, I saw on Instagram, there's this, a cartoon animation of people doing 911 calls that are really drunk driving. And it's so, I don't make fun of this, but they're really funny because they're so drunk. And one of them's like, I'd like to report a drunk driver. And they're like, where? And he's like, and then what's the car? And he's like, it's me. I'm the drunk driver. And they're like, why don't you pull over? And he's like, why? And he's like, because you're driving drunk. And he's like, all right. It's so stupid.
And he just did. I wonder if the cops, if you just self-reported.
Yeah.
That's a thing. If you start driving, you pull over, you call 911, you say, I'm really, really disappointed. I do not want to risk driving impaired anymore. Can you send a unit? Would they, because clearly you've driven drunk to get the car there.
Yeah, they'd
Do
arrest
they
you for
reward
sure.
you for that?
No,
No,
they arrest
okay.
you for sure.
That's a big risk.
It is. I wouldn't have done it. I would not have
Yeah.
done that.
I hope
Yes.
the cop appreciates valor.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, Tori, girl, I love you.
I love
I
you
will be
too.
seeing you this evening. Colleagues, we will see you next week. We absolutely love y'all. Thank y'all for riding with us. Have some fun this weekend and then come back on Monday and tell us about it. Guess who'll be back Monday? Michael Dean. Yes. Michael Dean will be back. We will get all the pictures and we will have the full breakdown and we'll get things going like we always do every week. So on behalf of Tory Shulman, I've been Alan Jackson. Thank y'all for watching Friends from Work. We out.